Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our regular meeting. Before we adopt the agenda, we have a proclamation. It's for Hope Air Day, Newfoundland and Labrador. Whereas access to health care is a fundamental right for all citizens, regardless of their geographic location, whereas Hope Air, a charitable organization, has been tirelessly dedicated to providing access to health care by facilitating free flights and other services for patients living in rural, remote, and underserved communities in Newfoundland and Labrador, ensuring they can receive vital medical treatment regardless of distance or financial means. Whereas Hope Air has been instrumental in bridging the gap between smaller communities and hospitals far from home, reducing the geographic and cost barriers that often prevent individuals from reaching medical care. Whereas the impact of Hope Air extends beyond the individual patients served, positively affecting families, communities, and the healthcare system as a whole by promoting wellness and reducing the burden of untreated medical conditions. Whereas the compassion, dedication, and commitment demonstrated by Hope Air and its volunteers embody the spirit of community and the belief in the inherent value of every individual's well-being. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Town of Holyrood that November the 5th, 2024 shall be known as Hope Air Day, in recognition of the invaluable contributions made by Hope Air to the health and well-being of residents of Newfoundland and Labrador. We urge all citizens to join us in celebrating Hope Air Day and to reflect on the significance of ensuring equitable access to health care for all members of our society. Let us reaffirm our commitment to supporting initiatives that promote health equity and extend our gratitude to Hope Air for their unwavering dedication to serving those in need. So I will now sign the proclamation. Okay, that's done. And of course, this is an organization, they've been on the go now for several years. I do know one individual who has been very dedicated to Hope Air, and he's been leading the way on many fronts, and that's what they do. All these small aircrafts or whatever, they actually provide free flight services for families, children, seniors in rural communities and whatnot, to make it more affordable for these families to be able to get to and from their destination or medical care facility or whatever. So certainly a great organization, great work they're doing, and we're certainly pleased tonight as a municipality, as a town, to support this proclamation, and we wish them well and keep up the great work that they are doing for many citizens of the province. Okay, with that, I will now call the meeting to order. The agenda is there before you. Can I have a motion to approve, please? Moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Crowley. All those in favour? Those against? Motion is carried. Minutes of the meeting from September the 17th. Are there any errors or omissions? No? Okay. The table will adopt them as presented. Is there any business arising? No? Okay. Correspondence, Madam CEO? Any correspondence? No. Thank you very much. And now we'll move on to planning and development. And Deputy Mayor, you're up. And your colleague, by the way, Councillor Windsor, could not attend tonight for personal reasons.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. The Planning and Development Committee, we met on October the 2nd via Zoom. with CAO Marjorie Gibbons, Director Stacy, Councillor Windsor, and myself in attendance. There were 4 applications reviewed. 2 were recommended for approval, and 2 were not recommended, as they were for accessory buildings that were non-conforming to our regulations. So just to put it out there to our public, our director has the authority to review and approve accessory building applications. So both of these applications were reviewed by the director. The director did not grant approval to the applicants because they were non-conforming with our regulations. Went back to the applicants requested the applications be taken to the committee. The committee had it on their agenda, reviewed it, agreed with the director's decision for non-approval because they do not align with our regulations. Now, there is a further process for appeal that the applicant can consider, and they can reach out to our CAO or the director in order to inquire about that process. But that's the way that we're handling applications for accessory buildings in-house. There were 2 pieces of correspondence that were reviewed as well, and responses will be either mailed or emailed to both those individuals. I would imagine that has already happened. As well, just an update from our last meeting. On September the 24th, we had met with the town planner to discuss the recommendations from the public consultation sessions held on our current town plan. Overall, that meeting went well, but we required further review of the RSL, the residential small lot zoning that we were implementing, and some changes to our landscaping policy that we were looking at. So both of those items were on the agenda for the Planning and Development meeting on October 2nd. And we have made decisions on those, so they need to be implemented into our new plan. So where we are right now with the town plan, we're always updating. We've been doing that for a long time now, but the end is near for that for sure. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel for the town plan. So the final draft, that information has gone to our town planner for the residential small lot and the landscaping policy. So he's going to take that and implement it into a new draft plan. That final draft should be in the hands of councillors for review within the next couple of weeks is what we're hoping. Then we need to present it to the public for consultation, for feedback and recommendations. Then we'll review what we receive there. We'll determine if there's any necessary changes that will be made to the new town plan. And then we are hoping to have this for motion at November's public meeting so that we can get it into provincial approval before the end of the year. So that's where we are with it, and our goal is to still have that done by, or into government by the end of the year. Other than that, I think that's it for planning and development. I just got a couple of motions this evening. First and foremost is our permits. Be it resolved to table and approve the attached permit listing. 7 permits were issued from September the 11th to October the 8th, 2024. Permit number 09-0124-24 to 09-0130-24, and includes permits for residential, accessory building, general repairs, and signs. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Woodford, seconded by Councillor King. Further discussion? If not, all those in favour, those against, motion is carried.
The next is for a residential build on 33 Godson's Road. The zoning is RMD. Be it resolved to approve the above application in principle, subject to the town's municipal plan and development regulations. So moved.
Moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Crawley. Further discussion?
There was a little bit of discussion around the table regarding this one because it's further in on Godson's Road, and we needed to look at the connections for our water and things like that, but all that was reviewed and the necessary documentation by the applicant was provided, so we were good at moving forward with allowing that.
Okay, good. Okay. All right, any other questions, comments? If not, call the vote. All those in favour? Contrary-minded, motion is carried.
The next is for a warehouse office building. The zoning is industrial general and it's on Horizon Drive. Be it resolved to approve the above application in principle, subject to the town's municipal plan and development regulations. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Sadie King. Further discussion?
So this is just a warehouse in the right area. It's in the right
You took
area.
the words out of my mouth.
Yep.
I mean, it's a designated
Yep,
industrial
industrial
park now.
zone, yep.
It's really shaping up. There's a lot of interest there. There's buildings there. And it's in progress. It's going to take some time over the years. But like you say, these type of buildings are in the right place, in industrial area in the town, out of sight with residential development. So it's a perfect fit.
It is.
Okay, any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favour, those against, motion is carried.
And that's it for planning and development, Mayor.
Thank you very much. And now we'll move on to recreation and community events. So we have Councillor Tilley and Councillor Sadie King.
Hello, everybody. So I guess I'll get right into it. As we know, it's the time of year for our fall festive kickoff. I have a hard time saying that one. There's too many F's in the one word. The fall festive kickoff. So it's for Holyrood Harvest Hoedown. It's going to start this Saturday. So we have, hopefully all the rain is gone and the skies will be nice and sunny and we'll actually have a nice day where we can all do the little rain go away dance. So that's going to happen at the IBEW building from 12 noon to 4 p.m. It's going to be a fun day with country music, hay rides, petting zoo. We're going to have pumpkin carving zone, which I can't wait to see that one. Bouncy castles. I don't think I should get into bouncy castles. Face painting, food vendors, craft fair. For us older kids, there's beer gardens, music and much, much more. So it's going to be a great day. Let's just hope the weather helps. As the hit is for every year, the Tasty Trails, that's going to take place on Sunday, is at the Holy Cross Park. And as always, this event was sold out quite quickly. So it's going to be a great event. That one seems to be a great crowd pleaser. Everybody seems to love that one. As we also are hoping that the weather is going to be nice on Sunday. Hopefully the skies will be nice like it was the other night for us who were oohing and eyeing over the northern lights. We're going to have some fall fireworks. It's going to be on Sunday, October the 20th at 9:30. So that's going to be, again, a great event. It is weather permitting. We're going to hope that the weather and the wind cooperates. And of course, another one that's a great hit that I've been to for ever since it's been started is the Spooktruncular. The Spooktruncular, again, wonderful hit for kids. I know I've been there dressed up most of the years and absolutely, truly enjoy it. It's a great bit of fun. It's a great safe environment for people to trick or treat. It's a really family orientated event, and it seems to be growing and expanding every year, which is great. So the tickets have been going, of course, great with those. The tickets that are open now for the public will start on sale tomorrow here at the town office at 8 a.m. So as always, that will be held at the IBEW building. 2 sessions, one at 6, one at 7:30. It's a great way to get the kids out, do some trick-or-treat, and have a bit of fun. We also have, coming up now before our next meeting on November the 5th, we have our bonfire. So it's bonfire night. That will be 6:30 at the main beach. Again, that will be weather permitting, obviously. Has to make sure that it's safe for everybody. So we look like we got a fun-filled month ahead of us if Mother Nature cooperates. Other than that, I think that's about it. Did I miss anything? Councillor King? No? Nope, she's giving me a nod of approval. It's good.
Okay, thank you for that update, Councillor Tilley. And yes, no doubt, there's a lot of events happening now over the next little while, and before we know it, we'll be heading into Christmas. But I certainly want to reach out to our Director of Recreation and Community Services, Kyle, because, look, there's a lot of planning has to go into this. A lot of phone calls, a lot of connections. It's a full-time commitment for a long time, and I would have no doubt that that Kyle is now actually starting the plans for, now that he's got the fall events laid out, that he's probably leaning and looking towards events now towards Christmas, because you always had to stay ahead of it, and it's extremely busy. But you know, these events are well done, they're well coordinated, they're well organized, very safe. So there's a lot of things, a lot of boxes that has to be checked when planning these events to make sure everything goes smooth. So a big shout out to our recreation director for putting all this together, and anybody else who has been involved at the recreation committee in any way. Thank you so much. Great job. Okay, if that's the report, we'll move on to infrastructure and public works. Councillor King, your partner in crime is not here tonight.
Unfortunately. Well, we did not have a meeting as a committee, but we do have a couple of updates, not a lot. The water project on Salmon Air Line is nearing completion. And we are looking forward to seeing the end of this and seeing the road paved. And up to this present, it's been a great job in there. Kept very tidy all the time. The new water tank project is moving forward. The engineers are preparing an RFP for the construction of the tank. So it won't be too long more, I guess, we'll see work on that. There are 2 submissions for the water study required for the Salmon Air Line water source. Evaluation will be completed by the town, municipal infrastructure, and Department of Environment on October 28th. So that's the only update we have, but we also have a motion to bring forward, and I'll read it. The Infrastructure and Public Works Committee have reviewed the literature provided to the town regarding the property on 11 Kennedy's Lane in response to concerns issued by the resident. The committee feels the ditching completed in that area did not cause the existing problems associated with drainage or loss of water, and therefore recommend the following motion. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood will not be providing any further remediation work at 11 Kennedy's Lane. So moved.
Moved by Councillor King, seconded by Deputy Mayor Woodford. Further discussion. Councillor King.
I just have one question, just out of curiosity, other than that. If we didn't cause the problem, do they know what caused the problem?
I can't answer.
Oh, you got okay. Councillor King, all I can say is that this has been an ongoing issue now for quite some time. It goes back several years. The property owner has made suggestions in the past about the fact that because there was some water that came down, you know, that down Kennedy's Lane, it used to be a cart road and that the onus was on the town to accept responsibility for the bit of water that we had. And, you know, it goes much deeper, and I'd prefer not to get into the details of it right now, but we're dealing with a lot of issues that the homeowner is arguing that we created the problem. And we've investigated this over and over and over again. Public Works has been heavily involved in this, on this file, and we don't see, we've done what we possibly can with the ditching and the water coming down, but in that particular case, we had heavy, heavy rainfall. And there was a bit of water came over the embankment down on their property, by their shed, but other than that, it didn't seem to go any further than that. No more than many other homes experienced at that time. In fact, myself and Councillor Windsor were there. We just happened to meet up because we were driving around the community checking different areas, and we met up in that area and decided to go up and check the property. So, you know, like I said, we're being fair and reasonable about this. We're not making, you know, a rash decision. Again, this has been an issue that has been ongoing now for the past several years, and, you know, we've done whatever remediation we feel necessary to prevent any further water from coming down on that side anymore. But other than that, it has been decided and recommended that the town should not accept any further responsibility because, again, it goes beyond the ditching. There's other factors involved, and again, it's sensitive, and I'd prefer not to get into the details of it. Yeah.
Curious if we didn't cause the problem, then what, or I guess what's causing the problem?
Well, again, that area, it's a hill. It's on a fairly big grade, and it goes far beyond that residence because we've had that road wash out twice because of the culverts, right? And there's a heavy flow of water comes down that hill during heavy rainfalls. And I've seen it because I lived there, and I've seen the road literally obliviated because of the vast amount of water. Public Works Committee has discussed this on several occasions, and hopefully that, we'll be able to prevent that happening in the future. But again, our rainstorms are more frequent, they're more extreme, and they're more challenging, right? Because it's not only isolated to that area, there's other areas of town that has been affected as well. So, all right, any other questions or comments on that motion? If not, all those in favor, those against, motion is carried. Okay, that's it for public infrastructure and public works. We'll now move on to economic development. Deputy Mayor, you're up.
Good evening again, everyone. The Economic Development Committee, we met on October 7th with our CAO Marjorie Gibbons, Mayor Gooby, and myself in attendance. 2 business applications were reviewed. One was sent to Planning and Development for motion, and it was motioned this evening. The other required further information, in which the committee agreed to ask the applicant to come in person and meet with the CAO for further discussion. The OHI Communications Coordinator is doing a fantastic job of collecting the contact information from our residents and our business community. Once again, if she is reaching out, please accept the call and provide the information. It's necessary for us to have that on our records so that we can reach out to our public in times of crisis or any type of serious types of events or water shutoffs or anything like that. So that database of information, we're hoping that that will be completed by year end for a rollout of the Voyant Alert system in early 2025. That's a system that we will be using for contacting our resident community, our business community, whoever so chooses to use that piece. The Town of Holyrood and OHI will be hosting a business session in November for our business community. This session will basically be a discussion on how the town can support our business community do better, in 2025, and consider and align that with the operational review as well. And as well, the town and OHI will be hosting a breakfast for our business community on November 1st at the Marine Institute here in Holyrood. The event is currently in the planning stages. We're hoping to have a guest speaker. We're trying to get that finalized, so that will be very exciting to have. If this person says yes, it will be exciting to have him here. And once that's all finalized, we'll reach out to the business community with all the details. And other than that, that's it for economic development.
Okay, thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. And with that, now we'll move on to public safety. We have Councillor King and Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. We didn't have a public safety meeting this month, but we do have a few points, and then once I go through mine, I will turn the floor over to Councillor Tilley. First of all, I want to get into, last week was Fire Prevention Week. So I just want to go through a few of the things that our fire department was involved with over Fire Prevention Week. The kickoff was for the week. Our chief attended the proclamation ceremony down in Portugal Cove, St. Philip's, and there was all kinds of different dignitaries there, fire department representatives and council members from all across the Northeast Avalon, and it went quite well. Okay, and just quickly go through some of the things that they did here in the town of Holyrood and after the proclamation. On October 2nd, the fire department went to the library. They had an in chat with the seniors that were there. They discussed the positioning of fire alarms, smoke detectors, all the other safety features that everybody should have in their home. On October 7th, they visited Holy Cross Elementary. They had 50 some odd students there from grade kindergarten to grade 1, and about 60 students there from grades 2 to grade 3. And from all accounts, they had a fantastic time. There was all kinds of really weird and wonderful questions asked. Ever watched that show? Used to be on many, many years ago. Probably nobody here other than myself and Sadie would remember. Art Linkletter. And they always used to say, the kids say the darndest things. Well, they do say that, and they're still doing it. They still say the darndest things. Okay, so it was a great opportunity for the kids to meet members of the fire department and vice versa. On October 10th, the fire department hosted an open house at the fire hall. It was well attended. People went in and seen all the different types of equipment that's in there, what's required when the fire truck goes out the door, all these different apparatuses and life-saving equipment that they use to make everybody here in the town of Holyrood safe. On the 11th of October, they visited the 2 daycares and even the smaller kids, because it's like everything. The younger you start something, the more it's ingrained in people's minds. Okay, it's everything. It's imprinting, I guess you could call it. So anyway, it was overall the fire department was very busy during Fire Prevention Week. So we just want to let people know that they're not sitting down there waiting for the alarm to go off. They're out interacting with the community and passing on some very valuable information that somewhere down the road it could save people's lives, because everybody should have smoke detectors in their home, and they all should have batteries that actually work, fire extinguishers, all these different things. A few of the other points. Hurricane season is we still got about a month or so to kill off in hurricane season. And, you know, all you have to do is turn on the news, look down in Florida. And one of the things that caught me the other night when I was watching CNN was this gentleman that was there, and he made the comment that this is stuff that we watch other communities on television. All of a sudden, we're not watching it on television anymore because it's here, right? His house was completely gone. He didn't have absolutely no idea what to do, and everything that he owned, the only good thing he said, all of them were safe. Okay, so hurricane season, and the same thing could happen here, and it will eventually. Eventually we're going to run out of luck, and one of these storms are going to hit us. So be prepared and make sure you have everything ready. Daylight savings time starts on the 3rd of November. I know people are really excited to hear that. But so people need to keep in mind, kids are still out there going to school. It may be a little bit lighter in the mornings when you go, but it's going to be dark in the evenings when you come back. And so people need to keep that in mind, that kids most of the time, they jump off the bus and they run across the road. They don't look left or right to see what's there. So people need to be aware of that. I know we just talked, we had a brief conversation with regards to crime. Crime is on the rise, especially on the Avalon. I mean, there's been 2 or 3 people now that have been killed on the Northeast Avalon. There's scams. Christmas is coming soon, and people like to prey on the vulnerable. So people need to be careful with regards to scams and safety and lighting up your property and stuff like that, because people are out there roaming around at night after all the rest of us have gone to bed, right? And they don't mind cameras, because we see some of the pictures on VOCM and the news, they're actually looking up into the camera, right? So they really have no fear. And like Councillor Tilley mentioned, bonfire night is coming on November 5th. And people should also be, I know the town is putting off a bonfire, but those people that are doing their own little bonfire should be careful of the fact that the wind and everything else and all the other. And the last point I seen it on the news this morning or this afternoon, with regards to the radon test kits. The information came back to CBS, I think over the past few days, and they did 110 homes, and 30 of those homes had higher levels of radon gas than Health Canada allows to permit. And for those, I know we've already discussed it here before, but radon gas is the leading cause of cancer among people who don't smoke. And lung cancer, yeah. So these kits, and I know we put in for kits last year. Anyway, there's only 40 communities. The application is open again now for 24 to 25, and they will donate 100 kits to that particular community, and you pass them out to different residents, and they will check. So, but also you can go in and buy your own. They're anywhere between $20 to $160, depending on what you want, but the average one costs about $50. And it's good to know that this gas is in your home or it's not in your home. Okay, so it's all safety related, and it'd be nice to know. And that's all I have, and I will turn it over to Councillor Tilley.
Thank you very much, sir. Councillor Tilley.
I just wanted to add a couple of points to the good points that Councillor King already put through there. Stressing on the hurricane season. Again, as I've said in previous meetings, 72-hour kit you should have in your home at all times. It consists of food, batteries, water. Back in the day, it used to be 24 hours, but of course now they're stretching it up to 72 hours. It's no good to have the kit in the box down in the basement in the far corner if your flashlight and batteries are in the kit in the box down in the far corner of your basement. So it's nice to have it know where it's easily accessible and easy to get. Another one of the topics that I wanted to talk about too was I noticed on the town website this evening that there was a bear sighting in our area in Salmon Line. There's all kinds of wildlife out there. The big thing, I guess, is just to be cautious of wildlife when you're out and about, because there's no one going to promote being outside any more than I am. And I've spent my life outside. I have come in accounting, I have walked down trails and met bears. Not here in this area, but in Central. Again, they're more afraid of you than you are of them, but some good things to keep in mind is keep your garbage controlled, keep your garbage, locked up in a container or in your garage. Big thing is pets. A lot of people bring their pets in back roads to let them go off leash. A bear is going to be afraid of you, but if you have your pet and your pet is barking at it and biting at it, it's going to try to protect itself. So keep your pets on leash is huge for that. And if you encounter them, make noise, be big. They will 99.9% of the time run away. Statistics in Newfoundland and Labrador is you have more problems with moose than you do with bears, so it's not something that everybody should be really afraid of and hiding of it and staying away from outside due to. But just be cautious. There's a lot of people in the woods this time of year. They're hunters, the hikers, the people that are out enjoying. Also, at our last council meeting, we spoke about the Adventure Smart presentation for Survive Outside for our community that Search and Rescue does through nationally. The committee has been working with the town, and we have a date set for November the 2nd. So that will be at the IBEW building on Liam Hickey Drive. So this is an event for, I'll say all ages, but mostly for older kids and adults. They do a hug a tree and survive for the smaller kids. So it's probably suggested for teenagers up. Again, any age, everybody here, it's great. If you do anything outside, it's wonderful to participate in it. Some of the things it talks about is taking the essentials, the training, the trip plans. Again, it's open to anybody who want to come, but trying to get an eye on how many people will come. We're asking that you register at info@holyroad.ca. Not that we're capping or it's a fee, but it's just nice to know the size of the audience that you're going to have. So there will be some information go out about that, and we'll have a few, poster circulated. But it's a great event to get out. The local search and rescue team will be doing it, and it's great to get to know them, their faces as well, and get some more education about getting outside, because no one loves getting outside more than I do. But getting outside safely is a huge thing as well. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, folks. Great update, very informative. All right, now we'll move on to communications. Councillor Crawley.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. Thank you for introducing everyone up at the beginning. We had a communications meeting on October 3rd, and myself, Deputy Mayor Woodford Kalhako, Director of Community Services, and CAO Marjorie Gibbons was in attendance. Sadie King had to give her regrets. Councillor King. Basically, we talked about the database that was mentioned by Deputy Mayor Woodford there a minute ago. And of course, that ties in very closely to our communications committee, but mostly leaning towards how we're going to get the information out to our residents. And that hopefully will be through the Voyant Alert system if it seems like it's going to work for our town. We do have a presentation that we're going to set up. So we're going to present to the entire council to run through what it entails, what kind of information you get from the Voyant system, and how it's directly related to mapping, the civic numbers, and all the other information that you'd want to get out there. I know myself and others use it for the waste management system. They use Voyant Alert. So I know I get emails when like Robin Hood Bay is closed due to high winds or anything like that. And just for that little piece of information, you know, it's very helpful. And I know there's other towns very close to us that use the system as well, and they're finding lots of success with it. So again, it has to be presented to council first. We need to look at the ins and outs. It was very cost friendly, so it's very economically feasible for our town to use a system like this. We're still under our external communications policy review, and of course Voyant is part of that as well. Or like I said, maybe there's going to be another system come out that's similar, but we have to look at all options. And we're taking each part and developing our policy as well. We reviewed our social media policy to see staff and councillors following the policy. And finally, we talked about our budget consultation process as is part of our communications mandate. And we're requesting that all residents take part in our budget consultation. And there's so many means to do this. We had the survey up, and we've had more and more residents use that now over the last few days. You can make the submission in writing or complete the questionnaire online. And correct me if I'm wrong, October 18th? 18th is the deadline. So you have 3 full days to get your voice heard in our 2025 budget process. Is there anything else, Deputy Mayor? Councillor King? That's all.
Okay, thank you
Mayor.
very much, Councillor Crowley. You can sit down because you got to do corporate services there now.
Okay.
You and Councillor King.
And it was a really busy day because on October 3rd, we also met with Corporate Services and Administration. Councillor Bruce King, myself, Marie Searle, Director of Corporate Services, and our CAO, Marjorie Gibbons, were in attendance. So we basically, one of the biggest things we covered after we looked at the accounts was that the audit report was submitted by Beacon Accounting. And it's now available in draft. It was posted out, and we had a meeting on it for Beacon Accounting to present it to all of council and go through our findings. And our biggest takeaways were, 1, we are in a financially stable position, and 2, we are following all the correct processes in terms of counting. Now, this is the 2023 audit report, and it is obviously much later than we would have liked it. But we're not any different than any other town. There is a shortage of availability of accounting firms that do the auditing process for municipalities. And we just fell into a line and had to kind of wait our turn. So it came out well anyway. It was presented well. We had someone in, went through step by step. We allowed ample time for questions, comments, and to get back. And everything is in order. So we're quite pleased, and I have lots of emotions here to, pass through tonight. But just to come back to our minutes, we talked about the budget consultation as we did. We checked all our accounts. CAO and Director Marie Searle has been meeting with directors and the head of all committees to make sure that we're well within our budget for 2024, and we are. So we are right on track. I think that was it. Yeah, we can get right into our audit motions unless there's anything else, Councillor Kane? Okay. So first is just a general payment of accounts. Be it resolved, those accounts tabled in the amount of $185,661.22, check numbers 46291 to 46359 and D4364 to D4418 be approved for payment from the general account. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crowley, seconded by Councillor Tilley. Further discussion? Not all those in favour, those against, motion is carried.
Okay. And now each part of the audit has to be accepted separately. So audit 2023, be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood approve and accept the 2023 audit as prepared and presented by Beacon Accounting. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crowley, seconded by Councillor King. Further discussion? I'll just following due process. Yeah, it was a good document this year. We were updated with our auditor at a meeting the other night. We're pleased with the outcome, and there was no red flags, as she indicated. She walked us through the document. She said I could not identify any red flags that would need further discussion or further investigation. And to my knowledge, because I think Councillor Crowley alluded to it back a while ago in regard to our debt servicing ratio, we are gone from 16% down now to...
Yeah, it was only the 13% yet, but this year is going to be the year.
Right,
It'll be
and that is to be
2024.
determined during the
Yeah,
budgetary
but that's during the
process.
budget. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
that's
budgetary
separate from
item,
the
not an
auditor.
audit.
Yeah. But at the very end of the auditor's presentation, she clearly gave us the thumbs up on the fiscal management of the town. And she said, you're doing all the good things and doing things in the proper way. And she commended us on the fine job from a council perspective and the management perspective on the fiscal management of the town. So overall, we were all pleased with it, and now that we are accepting the document, then it can be, the public can get access to it if they want to come into the building. I don't think the audit can be released outside, but anybody from the general public can come in and view the document. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not posted publicly.
Yeah. And we've made some significant changes through the operational review, which put us in a better place financially, and to see that debt servicing ratio come down, and I'm hoping that it's going to come down even further. We are, by the way, because I've heard people saying like it's pretty high, but according to the Municipalities Act and the province, we can go as high as 30%. So
Yeah,
the
we're not
town
going there,
was
though.
always between...
We're not going there.
No, but the town,
Same
but there
goes.
are municipalities that are creeping up to 30%, right? So, you know, overall, with our debt servicing and everything else, we're in a healthy position.
Right.
Things are going very
But
well.
just let you, like, that's not revealed in the audit. The audit doesn't have the
Right,
debt ratio.
that's the
so not
budgetary
in there.
item.
Yeah,
And that will then determine then
it's just nothing to
how
do
it's,
with the
when it's
audit.
all broke down, what is our debt servicing ratio? Yeah. Okay, that's my 2 cents. Any other comments? If not, all those in favor, please raise your hands. Those against, motion is carried.
Okay, to continue on, 2023 annual expenditure audit. So be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood approve and accept the 2023 annual expenditure audit as prepared and presented by Beacon Accounting. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crawley, seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Further discussion? All those in favour? Those against? Motion is carried.
So it's very important as well. We're trying to keep using our gas tax to be most efficiently run as possible. Our gas tax was audited as well. And be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood approve and accept the 2023 gas tax audit report as prepared and presented by Beacon Accounting. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crawley, seconded by Councillor King, Bruce King. Further discussion? If not, all those in favour, contramanded, motion is carried.
The final audit, tax receivable summary. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood approve and accept the 2023 tax receivable summary audit as prepared and presented by Beacon Accounting. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crawley, seconded by Councillor King. Further discussion? If not, all those in favour, those against, motion is carried.
All right, and to continue on using our gas tax and making sure we're getting the most bang for our buck, be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood accepts the Canada Community Building Fund Administrative Agreement 2024 to 2034, which identifies $641,972 of federal Canada Community Fund revenue to be used for eligible projects outlined in the 5-year agreement. This agreement is commonly known as gas tax agreement. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crawley, seconded by, come on, all hands up on this one. Seconded by Councillor Tilley. Further discussion?
No, we have such great uses of our gas tax money that comes back.
Absolutely.
It has been fantastic. We've used it for not the general maintenance, but to build and to add to our community and to add in all these new projects and our boardwalks and our community center and stuff. We are very privileged to tap in to this money and be able to access it every year.
Yeah, it's used very effectively on priority items.
Yep.
Okay. Moved and seconded. All those in favour? Those against? Motion is carried.
And one last motion from me. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood sent 2 representatives to the MNL, the Municipalities Newfoundland Conference, in Gander, November 6th through the 9th. This conference, prepared by Municipalities Newfoundland, is an opportunity to gain knowledge regarding policies governing municipalities. It provides updated information and allows for networking among other mayor, councillors, and CAOs. The knowledge of best practice information is invaluable to the town. The cost of 2 representatives, including registration, accommodation, and travel, is approximately $4,000 and well within our budget for 2024. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crawley, seconded by Deputy Mayor. Further discussion?
I just want to say this is really important, and there's been very, very valuable information come back.
Right.
And when you're talking about things like the cell phone usage and coverage, we're talking about marine usage and land and water usage, talking about crown lands. All of this is the things that are brought up during these MNL conferences. And, you know, to have 2 representatives there to gather in that information and bring it back to the rest of council is invaluable.
And equally important, there's quite a number of resolutions that are put forward because they do have a resolution session, and there's some pretty important items that are presented now for the resolutions, and you touched on them, you know, when it comes to Crown lands, which was a big ticket item. And now we're talking about climate change, ATV use, cell phones. So, you know, these 2 representatives are representing our municipality and are voting because once a resolution is passed at the convention, then it's forwarded on to that particular minister in charge of that department for review. The Town of Holyrood presented a resolution, myself and the former councillor in Gander, regarding the ATV regulations, and it was passed 98% at the convention, and lo and behold, the government did a full review of ATV regulations and tightened up on some areas. So it is very effective, and our presence is very important.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that has been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Those against? Motion is carried.
And we we don't have as healthy bank book balance as last month, but we're still in the black, so we're good. We have $4,699.73.
Well,
That
we're into the last quarter,
It's
so
for me today.
keep it in the black, Councillor Crowley. Okay, that is the agenda now. We'll go into new business, and I'll do the go around, starting with Deputy Mayor Woodford.
Nothing else for me this evening, Mayor.
Okay, you're good. Councillor King? You got nothing to add. I knew. No, I'm only allowing you
No,
one.
I'm just kidding. No, I do want to reiterate one point that Councillor Crowley said, and that's with regards to community input into the budget process. Okay, there's a whole slew of different ways that you can have your voice heard. Right, it's on the town website. It's been passed around to everybody. So it's no good to wait till after October 18th to have your say. Right? There's no good for you to wait till after the budget comes down and lose your mind. Every community is doing it. If you look at CBS, every single community around is following the same process that we're following. Okay, so this is, people say, well, it doesn't make a difference. It does make a difference, and I'm not going to speak for other councillors here or the mayor, but it does make a difference, especially to me, and I'm sure it does to everybody else, because I read all these different comments, and if it makes sense, it should be entertained, right? There's people out there off the wall stuff, but that's everywhere. But I mean, the vast majority, the 99% of residents here in Holyrood, they take time to figure out what they're going to say. It's structured, and 99% of the time it makes sense. So if people have a problem or a question or a suggestion, by all means, you have all these different ways of getting your information and your points across, and it would be a shame with 2,500 people living in the town of Holyrood at the end of October 18th to have a handful of people that had a say. Okay, so when you see that, you could take it either way. You could take it, well, everybody is happy, or you could take it the other way where it doesn't make a difference. But for me, it does make a difference, and I think people should take that in mind and make every effort to have their voices heard. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councillor King. Councillor Crowley?
Yeah, to add to that, we've had very valuable input. Last year we had, several suggestions and inquiries into it, and it's been taken all into consideration. And this year already, we've had very valuable input that we're already taken into consideration. So it is important. You touched on Fire Prevention Week. I was just going to say it was fantastic. It went off really, really well. Halloween's coming up. Everyone be careful and answer the doors for all bigs and littles. So let everybody enjoy well, it's not a holiday, but enjoy the fun. And we just we recognized Health and Wellness Week. Is very, very truly important, and coming off of Thanksgiving, you try to stop and give what you're grateful for and what you're thankful for, and what a difference that makes on your mental health and wellness, to actually take a step back sometimes and think about what you're really grateful for. But try to everyone to take time for themselves. And I'm a good one to speak, but take time for ourselves. All right, thank you. That's everything.
Thank you very much. Councillor Tilley, you're good. Councillor King, you can close her up.
When we did recreation,
You might.
I just wanted to mention that when we did recreation, we didn't mention the library. But if you look at the file guide, there's one section there that has activities for the library, and there's activities there for young and old. So I'd like for people to just take a closer look at what's going on at our library and see if we can get some more people to attend these events. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And And that is our agenda. Date of the next meeting is November the 12th at 6 p.m. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please? Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Crowley. All those in favour? Those against? Meeting stands adjourned.